And we're streaming. And we're recording. Dun, dun, dun.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
This episode of Breaking Down the Ring is brought to you by Chawla Legal Group Estate Planning. Estate planning is for everyone. Whether you're worth $4,000 or $40 million, estate planning can help protect you, your family, and your assets while you're alive and well. Damn. To register for an upcoming workshop today, go to chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157. Again, that's chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157.
What the Rock is cooking.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to talk about this week. Oh, AEW has made its announcement for live weekly television. We'll talk about where that's going to be, whom they're going against. Plus, Raw and SmackDown move things a little bit further towards Clash of Champions, which is coming up on September 15th, which we will be at the Buffalo Wild Wings. I am wearing a brand new Ring Crew Championship belt. We will get into all of that. Plus, Anthony Sharkbait Gutierrez is calling in as he is fighting in Livonia, Michigan for an Evolve Wrestling contract. And like I said, we're going to get into all of this and more tonight as we
break the ring down.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream rise to the top. Oh yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list! This right here is a family.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The After Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening
And you're listening to
You listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Break it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Smitty, Nick Fury, Nick Furry, Z, the whole effing Joe. All me.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, before the show started today, around 7 p.m., I got around 5:30 p.m., I got a text message. Got a text message from the good boys at Z-Bros Pro Wrestling Belts, and they said, your motherfucking belt is ready. He didn't say it like that. He just said, your belt's ready. And I said, what? My belt's ready? Holy shit. We weren't expecting this for another fucking week. Well, we got it now. So check it out. Check out the fucking new Ring Crew Championship that somebody will be wearing after All Out at StarCast and StarCast weekend. Oh, it's so fucking beautiful. This bitch. This bitch is prettier than I've ever been in my life. As a matter of fact, it's so pretty, Smitty's not allowed to have sex in it. Are you, Smitty?
It's so pretty.
Whatever. I'm in a lot of pain right now.
Smitty's in a lot of pain. He shit himself.
No,
Again?
sleeping on
Don't care. Not a part of the show.
I'm already shitting myself.
Smitty shit himself, everybody. That's what happened. It was a Schmidt Giddle.
Shit griddle.
Schmidt's Creek.
Keep it going.
Nah, I think I'm done right now. But we have a huge show tonight. I'm gonna get this belt is fucking heavy. Smitty, you can't carry this right now. Sorry. It's too much for your back. Sorry, man. Yeah, it's just too much. We got a huge show tonight. Anthony Gutierrez, Sharkbait, is calling in, a dude with a spectacular MMA record that is getting into professional wrestling now. Just like many people, he is, once you're trying to be done with the MMA lifestyle, man, some of those guys go for pro wrestling, to be pro wrestling. Few notable names: Ken Shamrock, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey. Matt Riddle, Sonya Deville. Like, these are all people that had MMA careers, and then they went on to be professional wrestlers and do well. What's really good about this is Anthony Gutierrez is going to be fighting for an Evolve contract this motherfucking weekend in the Detroit area, Livonia, Michigan, Knights of Columbus Hall this Saturday, Evolve 133. That show's going on at 8 o'clock. But before that, Shine 60, Shine Wrestling, the amazing, talented women of Shine Wrestling are going to be going on at 4 p.m. You, motherfuckers, anybody in the Metro Detroit area, you can go to this show. And if you go to etix.com and you get your tickets and you use the code word Detroit, promo code DETROIT, save 10% off of your ticket. That's a good fucking deal.
Can't beat it.
Well, I mean, it's a woman. You shouldn't beat it.
True.
You don't want to do that.
You don't ever want to stand there and get your ass whooped either.
You gotta defend yourself.
Whoa.
That was my point.
God, this fucking belt is amazing. I just can't say enough great things about this fucking belt. The way it feels, the weight of it, the look, the craftsmanship. Zebros. Guys, go to Facebook and look up Zebros. ZBROS.
That's some quality shit right there.
It's-
And they gave you a nifty bag to put that in.
Got a bag to put it in.
I want to see your bag.
It's on the floor.
Awesome.
It's just easier to carry around like that. God, that fucking thing was heavy. And it's new, so it's like cutting up pieces of my body and things like that. It's a pretty good week for wrestling. We got a week before StarCast, which we'll be at in Chicago. StarCast, we will be an official motherfucking vendor. Come out and see us. Here's the thing about StarCast. We want everyone who is there to be a part of our show. We're going to be walking around doing video interviews, put a microphone in your motherfucking face. We are going to have you talk about what you feel at StarCast. We're going to be walking around Sunday, especially after the whole All Out Wrestling pay-per-view, and we're going to be talking to people in the halls. If you're in the Collector's Corner area and you see our booth, come on out, man. We'll have you sit down and have a conversation with us, talk about what you think about is coming up, what you think might happen, and then on Sunday, even bigger day, talk about what did happen. Do you think AEW post All Out, is it going to be a better competition for WWE, worse competition for WWE? In all honesty, there is so much that is going to be going on with this weekend that we're going to be a part of. We'll be there all fucking weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Breaking down the ring. We'll be in the Collector's Corner vending. Man, we got stickers to give away. We want to get you guys, give you some business cards and everything. Follow us on all of our social media at BDRcast. It's all that we ask for you to do, and we will gladly fucking have you sit down, have an interview, have a conversation. Because look, man, the whole bottom line is this, that we have always been built as a show for our fans, by our fans. Because we've heard you guys, people said they like Smitty. That's why we didn't fire him.
Yeah.
I can't believe
An affirmative action.
No.
Yeah, podcast.
No, we have Joe. We already have our minority.
Yeah.
We don't need you. The fans like you, so we keep you.
They're all two of them.
Yeah, they're like, man, Smitty's great, and I'm like, yes, they are, ma'am and sir. But yeah, obviously, we want to see everyone out there. If you're someone who is listening to the show and will be out in Chicago, definitely come out to StarCast to see us. If you're not listening, if you're not someone who's subscribed to the show, following us on all of our social media, but you randomly just came across this, first off, please wipe us off. You could have used a condom. Second off, that's fine. Subscribe to our fucking shit, and definitely come out and see us and sit down and have a conversation. Anthony Gutierrez is going to be calling up in just a minute. Again, Evolve 133 this weekend in Detroit, Michigan. Evolve 133 Saturday. 134 will be in Chicago. But at 133, Anthony Gutierrez is going to be taking on somebody for an Evolve contract. And that's, dude, look, I think that's great. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this? Are any of you guys going to be able to attend the Evolve? I cannot because it's a Saturday.
I'll be the same place as you.
Oh, yeah, we work together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he works there. He does.
I think Joe was going. It sounded like he was.
Joe usually goes to a few of these events, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
The Ring of Honor shows. They got a Ring of Honor for show in September in Dearborn as well.
September in Dearborn.
Yeah, I just read that on my way here.
Nice.
I know Joe usually goes to those because I usually go with him.
I think he had mentioned that in the chat a while back about us getting tickets to that.
Yeah.
I think.
Anthony Gutierrez is going to be taking on a local guy, Karam, for this contract. But Anthony Gutierrez, man, he is no small potatoes. Dude, 11-3 professional fighting record, right, in MMA. So it's not like the dude's coming in with some small-time he's not small potatoes in MMA. He's coming through with a strong winning record. And two of his losses were decision and split. So it's not even like the dude's like got knocked out and stuff like that. He's coming through for all of this. It's great. It's wonderful to just see what he's done. I had it pulled up. That's the wrong one. It's this one.
Well, that MMA shit it's opening up a whole new door for guys to come over to professional wrestling, and it's cool to see a lot of these people's successful careers, like you had mentioned, Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey and Matt Riddle and
Cain Velasquez is over in AAA now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
That's good shit.
Sweet Jesus!
You're welcome.
That conversation.
Obviously, we're also going to be giving, because I wasn't here last week, we'll go a little bit back into TakeOver and SummerSlam, mainly TakeOver, just because that's really the only one I want to have an opinion on, which I thought was spectacular, but we'll go into a little bit of the matches. But yeah, man, Anthony Gutierrez is he's spectacular. Can't wait for the man to call in. Other things that are going on, like we said, the Evolve Wrestling. It's again back in Michigan. It's like every 6 months.
Yeah, they're coming around a lot. I've noticed that,
which is
cool.
Which is really awesome, really great because we love it. I mean, every time we've had a show, we've seen a show. It's been something that at the end of it, whoever's been there, whoever went, they all walk away going, that was really good. And even the 10th anniversary show, 131, that was on the WWE Network, that got a lot of praise, man.
Yeah, it was good.
With Austin Theory versus JD Drake in the co-main event, Austin Theory showing up at TakeOver, sitting in the crowd and things like that. So there's a lot of huge buzz.
And his announcement for he was announced to be working at the PC this week.
Yep,
as well.
he's officially a part of it and things like that. So there's a lot of buzz. Evolve 133, though, as I was saying, August 24th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. right here in the Metro Detroit area. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the Monahan Knights of Columbus Hall.
There it is.
19801 Farmington Road, Livonia, Michigan, 48152. Again, you can also get your tickets at etix.com for that. Let's talk about, first off, there's names right? Obviously, you go to these shows like this and you find out people that you like. But there's names from NXT that are going to be there for meet and greets. Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, Kushida, Arturo Ruiz, Babatunde. NXT guys to meet and greets with them. Actually, no Babatunde. Babatunde was actually just pulled. He's actually NXT now.
Oh, cool.
But he was just pulled off of the weekend events, unfortunately. So, and of course, Evolve stars will be available for pictures and autographs. Three main events in this, man. Evolve Tag Team Championship match. Anything goes. AR Fox and Leon Ruff defending against. Dang, I missed a call from him. Let's call him right back.
Ding.
I didn't hear no ding.
Who ding?
It didn't come through. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, we usually hear the do do or something. Oh, I can't even rock right now.
It looks like your watch is ringing now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We're gonna get him.
That was weird. It didn't ring at all.
Yeah, usually we get the funky little beat come in.
Yeah. And we didn't get anything this time. And it's not on mute or anything like that, so I don't know why we didn't hear. All right. Again. Hello, you are on the phone with Breaking Down the Ring. Is this the one, the only, Mr. Sharkbait himself, Anthony Gutierrez?
Hello, it is I. How you guys doing?
What's up?
So good to talk to you,
What's up,
brother. We were just talking about the Evolve matches that's going on here in Livonia, Michigan this Saturday at 8 p.m. for Evolve 133. And you are a part of Evolve 133. You are having an Evolve contract match. The winner between you and Karam are going to be getting an Evolve contract. How excited are you for this?
I mean, I'm extremely excited, man. This is obviously this is the biggest match of my entire pro wrestling career. This is the biggest moment in my entire pro wrestling career for reasons being, Evolve is now the developmental league basically for the WWE. Now that NXT's moved on to cable TV, so signing a full-time contract, possibly if I can win this match, take out Karam would just mean the world to me. If I could, get this match won and get that contract. So the opportunity for this to happen is just mind-blowing, and I'm looking forward to it.
You are coming from an MMA background, which in the first place is something that a lot of people who have had a lot of success in professional wrestling have done. From hearkening back in the day with Ken Shamrock to most notable ones being Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Matt Riddle, people like that. You had a great record, man. As a featherweight, you had 11 wins, only 3 losses. So it's not even like you had a minimal career and you're just like, you know what, whatever. No, you were strong and highly ranked. 30th, right, in featherweight in the world?
I think last time I checked, I was ranked top. I don't know what I was ranked in the world at featherweight, but I know in the Midwest I was top 3 in the entire Midwest for professional featherweight. So I've had a really good, successful MMA career, and I'm still actively fighting in MMA. I fought at the beginning of this summer, and it is an honor to be wrestling under the Evolve umbrella like Matt Riddle did, and I'm just trying to follow in the same footsteps as the MMA fighters before me that were successful with wrestling. I have a lot of respect for people like Ronda Rousey, Matt Riddle, Brock Lesnar, because they're 2 sport athletes that were able to do it at the highest level in both games. So, I'm using them as an inspiration and going after it.
What got you into professional wrestling? Obviously, to MMA, is one sort of dedication. Professional wrestling is another type of dedication, and completely different from some of the things that you do in MMA. So what made you fall in love with professional wrestling, and did you fall in love with pro wrestling first and get into MMA, or was it MMA and then watching pro wrestling got you into that?
I was a pro wrestling fan first in elementary school, watching it as a fan purely. Started in the Attitude Era. In 1998, I was 8 years old. My first wrestling show I ever went to, it was when Owen Hart passed away at Kemper Arena.
Whoa.
Early at a young age, wrestling was pretty impactful in my life.
Wait, you were there?
Moments. Yeah, I was there.
Damn.
Our show just got really dark.
Wait, but continue your answer, and then we're gonna actually go into that.
Okay, and so I was a fan of pro wrestling as a young kid. I was 8 years old when that happened, and as I got older, I would say getting closer to high school, I stopped becoming a fan of pro wrestling for whatever reason, just fell off, and started becoming a fan of MMA. Got into MMA, pursued that. And started fighting in MMA. I had a lot of MMA fights. And then in 2015, one of my buddies is a huge pro wrestling fan, and we became roommates. And when he started reintroducing me to the business, I started watching it from the aspect of a fan, or not a fan, but, actually a worker. And, not watching it as popping from the moments, but really watching it from the lens of, the business side of things. And I became fascinated with it because I was thinking, with all these good MMA skills that I have, I feel like I could really figure out this complicated, wild game that is pro wrestling. And, and I was never under the impression that, if I can do MMA, I can do pro wrestling. Like, I was never under that impression. I saw immediately how difficult it was, that if you're going to be successful in the industry, it has to, come with a strong passion. And so that's just kind of how I went from getting reintroduced back into pro wrestling from a worker's lens, and just had a desire to try it. And next thing you know, one thing led to another, and I've been pro wrestling for about 2.5 years.
Okay, so let's go back to your first ever wrestling experience. Over the Edge, 1999, May 23rd. You in attendance for the fall of the late great Owen Hart. And obviously that is a major moment for any wrestling fan, let alone a first ever experience.
That's crazy.
At a wrestling show. 8 years old. So what did that do for your psyche on pro wrestling?
Well, I'll be honest, man. I don't remember the moment happening at all. And I, as a kid, we were kind of still under the impression that, it was part of the show. We weren't really sure what was going on. Our parents weren't very transparent about the whole deal right away. And I don't even think they were completely sure, because our parents weren't really pro wrestling fans. So they don't really understand. They just think everything's fake, and
right.
Because they don't really understand the business. And so at the time, I remember just not really understanding what was happening. And then the next morning, I remember we had a sleepover at my buddy's house of the family that took us, and the mom told us the next morning they seen it on the news, and we were like, oh man. So it was a pretty big deal.
Wow. So you said you've been into professional wrestling for 2.5 years. Have you been in matches for 2.5 years, or is a lot of that training, because obviously you've still been fighting in MMA, like you said, recently, as recently as, if I'm not mistaken, September 22nd, you had 2018, you had a fight, right?
Yes. I don't know the exact date of my last fight.
Adam Ward.
But somewhere around.
Yeah. For cage side.
Who was the opponent?
Adam
Which
Ward.
opponent are you reading?
Adam Ward.
I fought since then. Yeah, I fought a guy named Will Shutt here this year in 2019. That's why I was like, that can't be right.
I apologize about that. That's what has a fight history. Is that the last one we have for you?
Check out mixedmartialarts.com or suredog.com. But, either way, it's close enough.
Right. SureDog is the one that I was on.
Well, interesting.
Damn fake news.
It's huge. Absolutely huge.
But again, you still have been fighting MMA very recently. So I saw that you had a match with Journey Pro out there in Kansas, right? Kansas City?
Sir.
And that was just in July. Have you wrestled for any other promotion before that?
Oh, yeah. I've wrestled a ton of matches. I've had about, I would say, close to 100 pro wrestling matches.
Whoa.
Well, I guess that's not a ton, but compared to a lot of guys. But I'm coming up on close to 100 matches.
In 2.5 years, that's amazing. So let's not.
He's working a WWE schedule.
Yeah, for 2.5 years.
I was lucky. There was a company called the NWL, the National Wrestling League, and it popped up out of nowhere in the Midwest in Kansas City by this $1 million IT software guy. And that was really what kind of motivated me to join their camp and become a full-time wrestler in the NWL organization, was the silly salary that they were paying, which eventually after 2 years, the owner ended up, shutting the thing down because he blew a bunch of money. But, there was a promotion called NWL that popped up in Kansas City, and they were paying full-time salaries and moving some talent to Kansas City. And we were running shows in the Midwest every Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sundays. And so that's what really inspired me, was to learn wrestling. And I got my feet wet there, where, as soon as I started training, I was working matches on, all over the Midwest with them 3 days a week. And so I started out of the gate hot, wrestling every week, 2-3 times. And when the NWL went under, it's been a little bit harder to get booked, so I'm not wrestling as frequently, but I'm still able to, show up and wrestle 3-4 times a month.
That's awesome. Now you're coming in with Evolve, which, like you said, is basically now like WWE's developmental, since NXT is being moved up to USA Network starting September 18th. Have you done anything with the WWN live people before, or is this your first foray with Evolve?
Yeah, so I've wrestled with Evolve before. I wrestled on their not on the WWE Network first show, but I wrestled on their New York card prior to that.
Okay.
I went to an Evolve seminar that was ran by Roderick Strong, the show before the anniversary show on the network. And after that seminar, they gave me a match on the Evolve card. It was in Brooklyn. And so I wrestled a guy named Steve Pena and won by a triangle choke. And then so now, after this recruitment camp, I've been selected as, the winner of the one of the two applicants in the WWN recruitment camp, Karam versus me, and then the winner of our match will receive a full-time contract. So this will be my second time wrestling on Evolve, which is awesome, and this will be, my first time ever battling for the contract.
So I have to ask then, as it's going on, and obviously you want this Evolve contract, like you said, one of the biggest moment in your professional wrestling career. If you win, which again, I've seen the Journey Pro match I've watched, I've been looking at some highlights of your fights, and dude, you can go. So if you win this, what do you plan on pursuing professional wrestling full time and stepping away from MMA, or trying to do both?
I plan on doing both as long as possible. Right now, I'm on a 12. My pro record is 12-3, and I'm on a 5-fight win streak in MMA. And it's looking like my next fight could be under the UFC banner. And I actually almost was fighting on Dana White's Contender Series 2 weeks ago. I almost got an opportunity to slide in on short notice. So 2 weeks ago, I was real close to fighting on ESPN Plus on Dana White's Contender Series, and I'm managed by a sports company called Iridium Sports Agency, and they do a really good job at once I won my 5th fight in a row, I signed with them, and they picked me up, and, they're telling me that my next fight is going to be under the UFC umbrella. So I'm just, hoping to get some sort of opportunity with the UFC, but I'm also, pursuing my professional wrestling career, trying to take it as high as I can go. So, my goal is to make it to NXT, and my goal is to fight in the UFC, and hopefully I can do them, within the same year, because I want to, do something that hasn't been done before.
I'm glad you brought up UFC, because obviously in my researching of you, something popped up under the UFC.com and your name. And I was like, holy hell, man, this dude is even just like looking at your record, like I said, it's a strong winning record. And the fact that it popped up and you have a biography page on UFC.com. And I just want to say congratulations for that, because I thought that was amazing when I saw that pop up.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And then, of course, you getting into Evolve, hopefully getting this contract and going in with NXT, maybe even other, because we got to call NXT main roster now, right? It's Raw, it's SmackDown, it's NXT. And we basically have to say, if you go from Evolve to NXT or wherever, you're looking for main roster. So what are your hopes and aspirations as a professional wrestler?
Man, I guess, my goal is to wrestle, become 205 Live champion, and, have a really good NXT run. Right now, I don't really get ahead of myself where, of course I want to wrestle in WrestleMania, and I'd love to, beat Seth Rollins in the main event, and all that stuff would be amazing. And I do think that, if I work my butt off and continue to do the right things, that could happen. But, realistically for me in my near future, I could see myself, winning the 205 Live Cruiserweight title. I could see myself being successful in NXT. And so right now, my goal is just to get better every single day. I'm not letting a single day go by where I don't at least improve in the right direction to get closer to those goals. And so, whether it's signing up for recruitment camps, investing the money that it takes to travel down there to take off work, if it's signing up in, CrossFit or speed and agility programs, at the point of my life now, I'm 28 years old. I've been, competing as a professional athlete for over 10 years, and I know what it takes to be successful when it comes to combat sports. And so, but I'm also aware that even if you do all the right things and you do everything you're supposed to do, nothing is guaranteed in life, especially in something like professional wrestling or mixed martial arts. You could be the best wrestler in the world or the best fighter in the world, but that does not mean that doesn't mean you're going to get your spot that you deserve. It doesn't mean you're going to get the money that you deserve. So, I've developed a pretty unique mindset of I am married to the game, and I am, taking every single day, making sure that I, get 1% better, to accomplish my goals. But I also have a relaxed attitude that, you know, I'm just going to enjoy this process, enjoy this journey. And I'm thankful for, you know, being able to, you know, wrestle in front of Tommaso Ciampa and these NXT executives and Gabe Sapolsky at the recruitment camp, and to impress them, and, you know, to be able to wrestle on an Evolve show, and, you know, be considered to, you know, fight for the UFC. And so I try to just, you know, enjoy everything that I'm doing now, and you know that I'm doing everything I need to do to accomplish it. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, it's not going to change me. You know what I mean?
And that's an amazing outlook to have on it, you know, with anything, because like you said, you're right. You want to get better, but at the same time, don't look too far ahead. No, focus on attainable goals that are in your very near future, which then only sets up for the ultimate goal. That's, again, anybody who's listening, any kid, anybody who's just looking into any of this stuff, they can take from that and move forward with that and become better in their own lives. And that just makes you a good role model for anybody as well.
Yeah, man. I've noticed, like, you know, there's professional wrestlers that I've mentored me and I've looked up to. And, you know, one that comes to mind is a guy like Jeremy Wyatt. And do you know who Jeremy Wyatt is?
No.
And so, and that's such a shame, man. And that's kind of my point, is that's not a knock on you. Nobody knows who he is. And honestly, dude, like, I've wrestled a lot of people, you know, in the last 2.5, you know, years. Jeremy Wyatt is the best wrestler I've ever wrestled. He's unbelievable, like a technician. His IQ, his athleticism, everything is unbelievable. But like I was explaining, you know, you can get as good as you can, you know, be, but nothing's guaranteed to come from it. And so, you know, I'm just trying to basically get to that Jeremy Wyatt level, do all the things that I can do to get to the stages I need to. But, you know, my currency is mastering the business and getting as good as I can be at it. That's what's going to make me happy. And whatever happens after, let's get it, you know.
For sure. So we have a question that we ask to everybody who calls in, and we want to know, what is the best rib that you have had played on you and in your professional wrestling career, and what's the best rib that you have played on somebody else?
Do you know who Rob Sandberger is?
The name rings a bell, actually.
He's the WWE guy who draws all the cool photos and sells them on, like,
Yes.
WWE.com.
Yes.
So he is from Kansas City, and I was doing extra work at a Raw, and he ribbed me, telling me that, oh, you're going to be in this cheerleader spot. And this was the first time I had ever been extra. And he's, like, comfortable backstage, and, you know, people know who he is. And so I'm all, like, quiet and nervous. He comes up and ribs me, telling me that I'm going to be this cheerleader for The Miz or something, and I need to go to makeup and get sized. And when I went over to wardrobe, he had, like, the wardrobe person in on it. They're, like, measuring my waist, and I'm all excited thinking that I'm going to be a freaking cheerleader for The Miz in my first year of wrestling and extra work. And then all of a sudden Rob was like, oh, you actually believed me? That wasn't going to happen. And I was like, you asshole. Like, what the hell? Why would I not believe you? You know what I mean? I'm all nervous being back here. And so yeah, that actually kind of pissed me off, but I guess you consider that a rib, right?
That's 100% a rib. That's, yeah, definitely a rib. Have you been able to pull one off on anybody else?
No, because I'm too new to rib people.
True. All right. But even still, there are people that have come in that are even newer than you that you could definitely pull something off on. Maybe you can get something on this Evolve show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I mess with people so much that I probably just, it could be considered a rib with just my personality. But I can't think of anything I've done to anybody. But when you ask the biggest rib that's been done to me, that's for sure it right there.
Oh, man, that sticks the fuck out too. So for sure.
You're gonna make you a cheerleader? You're gonna be
I'm
Nikki?
still mad about that. Like, I'm gonna get that back.
You know what? You should. That's the whole point of it. Everyone gets a receipt for something like that, man. So I definitely hope you get it back with that. Now you are taking on Karam for an Evolve contract, as we have stated earlier, on Evolve 133 right here in Livonia, Michigan. Anyone who's listening, you go to etix.com, get your ticket for Evolve 133 here in Livonia, Michigan. There's a large card for this, but is there anything that you want to say to Karam in regards to this match?
You know, I mean, I really, I messaged to Karam, but really it's just, everybody in my way as far as, future opponents and, any roster is concerned. But mainly, Karam. since he's my next opponent. And it's, what people don't realize is I've been invested in the combat sports for, basically over half my life now. Started to train at an early teen, made my amateur mixed martial arts debut in high school, fought 20 amateur MMA fights. I'm coming up on 16 professional fights now. I'm in a prime body at 28 years old with a high fight IQ. And so really just my message to everybody is, with all of my sacrifice in combat sports, with training and competing and developing mindsets and different perspectives as I grow as a person, I really feel like it's my time. I really feel like all that work sets me apart. I feel confident in my skills, and I'm just out here to show everybody why all the work I've put in sets me apart, and why I'm the guy to run with it, and and why I'm going to be successful. So that's my message to everybody is I've been busting my butt in combat sports for a long time, and I feel like the ball is all rolling finally to this spot here, and it's Evolve, it's Karam, it's in Detroit, and here we go.
Hell yeah, man. We're definitely rooting for you. Hope you get this contract at Evolve 133. Anthony Gutierrez, Mr. Sharkbait himself, we want to thank you so much for calling in, brother. We hope to talk to you again in the future. And again, good luck at Evolve 133, brother.
Thanks, guys. I hope that rambling made sense. I appreciate you guys having me on.
It did, man. It did.
Yeah, you're good,
That's
man.
the whole point of it, bro. You got to cut them all, and you got to get it down, and you did, bro. Nothing went off or anything like that, so we definitely appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. See you.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
And ladies and gentlemen, again, that's Anthony Gutierrez, Sharkbait. He will be at Evolve 133 this weekend, this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, in Livonia, Michigan, August 24th. The bell time begins 8 p.m. You will be able to see, again, we'll go into the card for it. Main event number 1, the Evolve Tag Team Championship match. Anything goes. AR Fox and Leon Ruff defend against Joe Gacy and Sean Maluda of the Unwanted. Main event number 2, only in Evolve, Matt Riddle versus Josh Briggs. Main event number 3, only in Evolve, Kushida taking on friend of the show, J.D. Drake. Then we got a non-title match, Evolve 122 rematch, Evolve champion Austin Theory versus Anthony Henry. Grudge match of Kurt Stallion versus Anthony Green with Brandy Lauren. Winner gets the Evolve contract match, again, Karam versus Anthony Gutierrez. And then first time ever match, Arturo Ruiz versus Stephen Wolf. Special attraction match of Shotsky Blackheart taking on Cameron Bernay. Nick, you're in love with Shotsky.
Love me some Shotsky Blackheart.
Is it like my love for Zelina Vega?
Fuck.
And then the tag team attraction match, Adrian Alanis and Liam Gray of the Skulk versus Mongo and Cyrus. Again, go to etix.com, get your tickets for Evolve 133 this Saturday, August 24th in Livonia, Michigan. And again, before that show at 4 p.m., make it a day for wrestling, man. Shine 60, etix.com. You can go to Shine 60 at 4 o'clock. You can get those tickets 10% off if you use the promo code Detroit. That's DETROIT. And then from 4 o'clock to 11, you can have your own WrestleMania of wrestling right here in the Metro Detroit area. And you can be involved with Evolve. And you can glow with Shine. You can just be out there. You can,
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yes. You can have a whole bunch of fun. Look, man, I was really upset I wasn't able to attend the Shine show last time they were in town because seeing the stuff on the Club WWN, again, WWNlive.com, ClubWWN.com, get yourself a membership to that for $9.99 a month. And you can see all of this Evolve talent, all of the Shine matches, and then other things, Dragon Gate. There's so many great things that are involved in this.
Awesome.
Dude, this is, let's be very honest, I think this might be the greatest deal in professional wrestling. You go to any one of these other streaming services for wrestling, WWE is like the only one that gives you a separate brand of NXT.
Not anymore.
Ring of Honor, no, you still get it. I don't know what you're talking about. We'll talk about it. Ring of Honor gives you Ring of Honor. New Japan gives you New Japan. And if you go to Club WWN, though, you get so many different wrestling promotions that, again, I cannot talk highly enough about how many promotions that they give you. And like Evolve Wrestling, you've seen it on the WWE Network. You've seen Evolve Wrestling there. Shine, if you're looking for a bunch of women's wrestling, boom, ladies and gents, that's what you do. Shine is all women, all incredibly talented women that wrestle, that aren't like
Just models.
You're not tuning into this and you're not getting Attitude Era and the next 10 years of WWE women like that. No, you're watching women go at it, man. So much.
Amber Moon, I think, used to wrestle under Shine.
Yes, she did. And then there's, I believe, GCW is a part of Club WWN.
GCW or Shimmer, one of them.
It's definitely. I don't see Shimmer on. I see Shimmer on here as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Shimmer, Shine.
And Shimmer's all women as well.
Yes, as well. Viva La Lucha. Like you said, Dragon Gate. There's so much that you get off of this. I think Club WWN is an amazing. For me personally, because I have it. I'm not just blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I honestly feel that Club WWN is probably your most elite wrestling subscription service because of how much it gives you. That being said, let's move on to what we were teasing in the lead, and that is the announcement for NXT moving to the USA Network for a live weekly 2-hour show starting September 18th at 8 p.m., which is, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks ahead of...
3 ahead of, because October 2nd is AEW on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it starts October 2nd, so 2 weeks, because the 18th to 25th, and then on October 2nd is the third week. So they have a 2-week head start on AEW, introducing people to the NXT talent that some have not seen because they don't have WWE Network on a major platform. Smitty, you've been scoffing at this every time it's been brought up.
I put a tweet out about it when the news broke. I'm excited for NXT. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part of the WWE. I never really have anything to complain about it, and I'm just worried. Like Vince has said, he's going to be more involved with the NXT.
No,
product.
he didn't.
Yeah, they said
he didn't. He never said that. That was a rumor that came out that everyone said. As a matter of fact, Vince didn't even have any part with TakeOver. Everything that has been said about this is it's still Triple H's baby. Vince will never be at a live show. As a matter of fact, there's a new report coming out saying that he's tentatively ready to step away from WWE.
For the XFL thing?
Yes, so which is getting more and more announced. Vince had nothing to do with TakeOver. So all of the people that were bitching because of a report that came out saying Vince might be a little bit more hands-on with NXT, he didn't touch it. He wasn't at the NXT TakeOver. He's not going to be at any of the NXT Wednesday tapings. They said it's going to be the exact same commentary team. They said it's going to be the exact same thing that you have gotten week after week after week on the WWE Network, and just now you're going to get it 2 hours long on the USA Network.
I'm about to believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see it. It's like it's going up to the USA Network. Like I said, it's going to be main roster, but I just don't want NXT to become what a basic main roster show, like Raw or SmackDown.
Are you just ultimately jaded on because this has nothing to do with Vince? Like I don't understand that.
I'm jaded with the main WWE product in general. And NXT, like say, I'm excited. I love NXT. I really do. I worry about it being rebranded and just being the same generic shit we see on Monday and Tuesday now.
Even a report from Dave Meltzer stated that it's not changing. Nick, you heard about this news. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm optimistic. I think it's good that it's going to go for 2 hours. It sounds like they're going to stick with Full Sail University where they film it now, at least for the time being. I'm cautiously optimistic. Like we said before we went on the air, that's all reports. It's all rumors. But funny enough, when Vince McMahon's name gets thrown in the ring,
automatic hatred.
People just start shitting their brains out. So I hope for the best. And I am cautiously optimistic. But I do think that they'll be fine. And I think they've got a great idea with what they're doing, putting it on Wednesday nights. So happens to also be the night that AEW will be on TV. But I think it's a great idea. And if they don't touch it, just leave it the way it is. Maybe up the production value a little bit, because obviously they're going to want to do that being on a major network. I'm fine with it.
From what everything is said, so this is coming from ProWrestlingSheet.com. Ryan Satin reporting August 20th, so yesterday. There's a great fear on the internet that things will be changing in NXT now that the black and yellow brand has landed a TV deal, but we're told the fear is unwarranted. Sources tell us, despite speculation, the current plan for NXT is to remain as the same show it's been for years, and that moving to the USA Network was only done to get more eyes on the product. Bottom line, if you're worried about losing the work rate heavy product that's been spearheaded by Triple H for years, don't be. As they previously reported, NXT will be airing live on USA for 2 hours. September 18th. Here's my thoughts and prayers on this.
So you don't give a shit?
No, I really don't. I am not worried about this. 2 hours is perfect. Why is 2 hours perfect? Because 2 hours, the only difference is going to be for the people who attend it live. That's where you're going to see the difference. NXT once aired on USA. Okay, it came on during a WWE week, and it was on Wednesday as well. Okay, and that's probably where this all started. The show that went on was an hour long on the USA Network. You know how much of that show that you didn't see that was put on the WWE Network? Half.
Mm-hmm.
That's because there were commercials, commercial breaks. The exact same hour-long product you get when you watch the WWE Network is going to be the exact same thing put on the USA Network, just with fucking commercials. WWE now is going to have 3 television shows that have a bunch of ad buys, that people are going to be spending money to put TV commercials in. That is going to jump WWE's stock up even more.
Mm-hmm.
Vince is talking about tentatively stepping away, right? And that's just reports as well, because we don't fucking know. But what we do know is that Vince didn't touch TakeOver, the most recent one in Toronto, that everyone, including our own Joe, was pissed about, and brought everyone in about this whole fucking thing at the end of it, how there was no blood in a violent fucking match. It wasn't a violent match. There was barbed wire on the outside of a cage that Johnny Gargano had to climb over just to cut and get used. It wasn't used because it didn't happen. The minute he had it cut, they fell off the top and into the tables. Match ended, right? It's nothing that Vince had his hand in. Triple H has been showing violent type of matches in NXT for years. Johnny Gargano took a fucking DDT through off the second rope to the wood of a wrestling ring. To the wood. No padding, no nothing. No blood. Right? It's not new. This is nothing new for NXT. Vince didn't fuck something up on NXT TakeOver. He wasn't there. All reports are stating he's not going to be a part of this. And as far as I'm concerned, that means I got nothing to worry about. Is there a possibility of Vince doing something with this in the future? Nope. Why no? Because Vince barely touches SmackDown. He does, but he barely touches it. He's not there for these live tapings. The fucking other people are running. He goes to SmackDown when it's a big fucking show. There's a reason that he barely shows his face on SmackDown. But Raw is his baby. Raw 100% is something that he will always have a fucking hand in, right? NXT is Triple H's baby. The minute it was conceptualized with the Performance Center, with the NXT, Triple H was handed that reins. Vince said, this is your baby. Vince could not step on fucking Triple H's shoes with this, because then Triple H would just look at him and say, I don't fuck with you. And he doesn't. And then Vince coming into that, I'm not worried about Triple H not being able to stand up to Vince McMahon. I think Triple H is probably the only fucking guy that could stand up to Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that got shit fixed with the guys that Vince kept bringing up when he wasn't around. Vince pulled all this fucking call-up shit when Triple H wasn't even involved. He wasn't there. Everyone said it that fucking day that all of a sudden the 4 NXT people showed up. Black, Ricochet, Gargano, and Ciampa.
Well, Ciampa didn't show because...
Well, no, Ciampa was there.
Oh, yeah, he was. Right before
and then it was like 2 weeks later that they found out about the neck. So Triple H went to him the next week and said, you're fucking this up. Stop. And then Triple H kind of righted the ways with them. Hell, look at Ricochet right now. He's already been a U.S. champion. You know, he's in the King of the Ring tournament. He's highly featured. Aleister Black has had great matches since he finally debuted, you know, after getting away from the tag team, which... Did it take a little bit too long for some of us? Sure. But did it pay off in the end? Yes. And he's a highly sought after thing on television right now. People love Aleister Black. This is, fucking Street Profits, man. Are you kidding me? Street
they're
Profits are one of the
gold.
most
Entertaining
entertaining
things.
thing
Yeah,
going on
gold.
WWE television right now, be it Raw or the fucking pay-per-views.
Smell.
I'm not
I was just
worried
chilling with
about
RVD.
NXT. I'm not worried about NXT. I have no reason to worry about NXT. If you're telling me that everything's going to stay the same right when it comes up, I'm not worried about it. Will things evolve? Sure. Everything evolves. If you go look back at some of the first fucking things of NXT, it looks like a fucking child's play wrestling thing. If you're watching the first events of NXT.
shows, yeah, I've seen them.
Everything evolves, man. And this has evolved to a 2-hour-ish show, but it's going to be live weekly. So you're not going to get these fucking taped matches where you get a spoiler for something like a tag title change or something like that because the WWE Network is set for notifications on your phone.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, that's what killed it for me.
But again, we're not spoiling anything for anyone else. We're not even saying that did happen recently, even though it did. But WWE is doing something good with NXT. And a live weekly show, from what I hear, still all at Full Sail. They're not going on the road. They're still every week at Full Sail. You can go on a Wednesday night and watch NXT for 2 hours at Full Sail. Currently. Will there probably be touring? Sure. Is it
What they do? They do tour. They do live tours.
right? And they do that now, but obviously it's different when you have a weekly live show to
Yeah.
get to. So it's probably not going to be during the
A
week. Like,
weekly live show at Royal Oak Music Theater.
I'm in. Let's
be
do it.
Awesome.
I'm totally down for NXT TV here in Royal Oak, Michigan. I'm not worried about this. I feel like if you're worrying about this, you're literally just looking for something to complain about. Sorry, Smitty. I love you to death, man. But I feel like there's no reason to worry. They haven't given you a reason to worry. They haven't touched anything. It's like you're worried because you just want to think that things are going to go bad.
I'm worried about the NXT brand being on that USA network where everything else is right now. And
But if it's still
Is
Triple
it-
H's baby, why are you worried? If you like what it is now, and it's even the time isn't changing. What they do on the network, it's going to be the same matches and everything put forward, the same product heavy, work rate heavy product that they've been putting out.
if that's what, if it stays that way, I'm fine with it. Just like something's going to change eventually, and will it be for the better or the worse?
If it's been all Triple H, it's going to be for the better. You've seen when he took
When he
over
did
205 Live.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Once
Like
again,
you're just I feel like you just want to have animosity towards it because there was a rumor that Vince McMahon was touching it, and he never did.
I'm always skeptic about anything with on the main roster of WWE.
So my next question about this is, yes, NXT is now a main roster brand. NXT is going to have a show. It's going to have a title. It's going to not just be NXT because it's SmackDown, Raw. NXT is like its own little brand, right? I know it stated originally, and it's still coming out, that the NXT takeovers will still air exclusively on the WWE Network. And Thursday at 8 o'clock on the WWE Network, you can watch the entire 2-hour show that aired on USA on Wednesday.
So you can watch it live on either USA or the network.
Watch it live on USA, and then it'll re-air on the network
Gotcha.
The next day.
on Thursday.
Yep.
At the same time, you
They
can also
don't even do that for Raw.
DVR at
They don't do that
DVR.
for Raw or SmackDown.
They eventually, Raw and SmackDown takes a couple weeks
Take a
for it
couple
to
weeks,
get
but
it.
I'm-
But at
I'm
the same
saying-
time, that's probably in the contract. Like, we're still going to air it the next week after that. And who knows? Maybe with the new television stuff coming up in October, where they move to Fox, it's very possible that you'll see maybe just a 1-week delay. Like, you can watch SmackDown the week after, or something like that. They can work however they. So my thought process. Everything's still running.
What?
Like on the, you can,
Yeah.
it's still moving there.
Yep.
You can see everything in live. Everything's moving.
Yep.
Yep.
My boss is watching right now, so.
Oh, hi, boss.
Shout out to Debbie.
What's up, Debs?
How you doing?
Whoa. Yeah, we just had a frozen. Now everything's working.
Yeah, it
here.
looks good.
A little bit of lag.
Do you think that we start seeing more integration with NXT and the WWE's pay-per-views, or are we gonna let's say after WrestleMania, will WWE start incorporating NXT and their titles into WWE pay-per-views, or maybe because right now during the Big Four, you have a takeover in front of it, so you have 4 or 5 takeovers.
Or maybe
You have five takeovers a year.
Yeah.
Do you think WWE starts moving NXT belts, matches, stuff into WWE pay-per-views? Nick, we're going to start with you, and I'm going to run and grab a water, so I'll listen.
I feel like if they're going to keep things the same way, nobody messing with anything, if it's not broke, don't fix it type attitude, then no. I think they'll keep, 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year, which is, I think, the way it should be anyway, because it gives you more time to build a story and
Do you kind of care about?
give you more time to be invested in it. Depending on how successful it is, sometimes I feel like if things are too successful in that company, that they kind of go overboard and try and cram it down their throat as much as they can, and it comes back to bite them in the ass. So I think they'll keep it with their standard takeovers, 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year. And
Well, that's why I said post-WrestleMania.
Post-WrestleMania.
I'm saying we're talking, we have 2, that'll be the 3rd big show. Because we still have Survivor Series coming up, which is after this debut on the USA, which is September 18th, the first Wednesday after Clash of Champions. So obviously NXT is not going to be part of this one. Hell in a Cell is the October pay-per-view. November is Survivor Series, one of the big 4. Final big 4 of 2019. Obviously Royal Rumble kicks off the big 4 season with 2020. And then you have WrestleMania in Tampa Bay. After WrestleMania, what's the likelihood that the takeovers are gone and the NXT product is worked into normal WWE pay-per-views? If you had to take a percentage,
I'd say a 35% chance.
35% chance
Yep.
after WrestleMania.
After WrestleMania.
What do you think before WrestleMania?
10%.
10% chance.
Yep.
Smitty, what is your percentage chances, and then how do you feel about it if it does go that way? So let's say before WrestleMania, what's your percentage chance of it's going to?
Before WrestleMania, I'm gonna say 0, because if they're truly going with the we're not gonna touch it, leave it everything where it is, you're not gonna integrate it.
Touching the weekly show is way different than pay-per-views, though. I'll be very honest.
But I'll say the only thing I feel that they may actually integrate NXT guys into, they may integrate them into the Royal Rumble, maybe, just to get,
Which they already have.
yeah, because
But
that's what they already did.
that's nothing new.
But I don't think they're going to integrate themselves anything NXT into the regular pay-per-views.
So 0% chance before WrestleMania. Post WrestleMania, what percentage chance?
Post WrestleMania, I would probably go with a 30% chance.
30 as well. All right.
Because that depends on the success of NXT's weekly product.
So if NXT is then evolved into normal WWE pay-per-views, and the matches are still put together by the same agents that do it for TakeOver, or that know these wrestlers, but they put them onto SummerSlam, they put them onto Money in the Bank, things like that. How are you going to feel about it? Again, because if they are honestly staying true to the product that they've been putting out, that means even if it does evolve into WWE programming, those matches are still put together by the same people that are putting together the weekly matches. So it's not like it's going to go to anyone different than Triple H will still run those NXT matches that are going onto a pay-per-view, and Vince will run everything else if he's still around, right? Because the XFL announced 8 logos and teams,
one
today.
is the Vegas Vipers.
So
and shit like that.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Vipers.
But anyway, so if
Something I saw.
Triple H is sticking to it and he's running it, how do you think you'll feel about it being on the main shows, every main pay-per-view, rather than getting 5 takeovers a year?
It's just like Nick said, I think there'll be a little bit somewhat too much overexposure of those titles. There's a lot of titles in WWE already that don't get featured, that don't get used. NXT, that's another 3 titles you probably not, like, just the way that system runs for the pay-per-views, you're not going to see those titles, and there's not many grudge matches. That's why. So I don't them integrating integrating the NXT stuff into the. That's why I think it's not a good idea.
Yeah, I totally agree because you're already struggling to put together storylines for 7, 8, 9 matches for a WWE branded pay-per-view with SmackDown and Raw. Then you'll have to maybe back up 1 or 2 of those matches to make room for some NXT matches, or even 3 of those matches. So keep them separate. Love the idea of keeping them separate all the way.
Do you think that a part of the integrating, putting together storylines for Raw and SmackDown being a problem is because of how much those 2 shows interact with each other?
Yeah, it can be, especially with the wild card rule, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not, and sometimes, as we mentioned,
sometimes it's there. It's always there.
You know, I don't want to use the term confusion, but why do you have split brands at this point? I mean, everybody just go where the fuck they want. I mean, most of the guys we're seeing both nights.
Mm-hmm.
Roman, the Revival, Shane, Elias.
I'll be very honest, man. Like, I'm not mad about Revival being utilized so much. You know,
And I'm not mad about it being utilized.
I'll say this. Look, NXT, as it stands right now, is looking as its own 100% separate brand.
And that's what it needs to be.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine. But once Fox takes SmackDown in October, there is no way Fox is putting over talent that's on the USA Network.
Right.
You're going to get much more separation and different feel of shows on SmackDown versus Raw completely once Fox gets it. Fox wants certain things, sure, but there's no way that the USA and NBC execs and the Fox execs are going to be promoting the same people. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Fox wants a much more sports-oriented show. I'm all right with that. I'm not mad about that, because if it's a more sports-oriented show, that means it's going to have a higher sports presentation, more matches. It's going to be the wrestling show, what SmackDown used to be.
I'm Joe Buck, and welcome to SmackDown. Fucking A.
Go to fucking hell. Fuck you.
You can fucking leave.
Fuck
You remember when TNA had at one point had a
Fuck.
deal.
I don't care.
Deal with F Fox, and they were presented as a sport, like more like a sport at one
And
point.
there's Kevin Owens with the stunner. I'm excited. I am. Sorry.
What a nice tackle by Yamamoto.
Did he catch it? He did. Oh, wow.
Wow, what a catch.
That's Joe Buck for you.
Sorry.
So there's going to be different presentations and honestly different rosters.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very noticeable, the difference in the shows. So when you're watching it, you're just like when you watch NXT on the WWE Network, it doesn't feel like Raw or SmackDown. It feels like its own separate entity. And eventually, October, we're talking a month and a half away, the separate entities are going to happen for Raw and SmackDown. And then is when I'll judge if it's a bad move or a good move for NXT matches on a WWE tri-branded pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be okay with it for the main reason that right now it feels convoluted because it is. But SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen, ended by 11 o'clock Eastern Time. It started at
11.
6 with the pre-show. Sorry, 5, but the first match was at 6. So you had a 5 hour of matches, SummerSlam, 6 to 11. SummerSlam, a big 4, after everyone bitched about WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, 12:30, sir.
Yeah.
Everyone bitched about how big WrestleMania was, right? And how it went so long. You sat from 5 p.m. till fucking 12:30 in the morning. And then what did WWE do with their next huge pay-per-view? They cut that bitch an hour and a half shorter. Sorry, 2.5 hours shorter. Because it was 5 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And this was 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And it still came off well. We all ended SummerSlam was another, this is a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Not amazing. We're not going and saying SummerSlam is the greatest pay-per-view of the year, but we're not at the end of the night going, SummerSlam sucked. We haven't said that about a single WWE pay-per-view. So this year, in 2019, there hasn't been a single shitty one. Obviously, NXT takeovers are leaps and bounds above and beyond what the WWE pay-per-views are, but it's 5 matches, and they're all really fucking good. Some of them last for 59 minutes when everyone thinks the highest it's going to be is 37. Okay?
I think that was me that came up with.
But either way, the bottom line is I don't think I'll be worried about NXT until I have to be worried about NXT. If you're telling me that everything is going to stay the same, and then maybe there's an integration, an evolution, either adapt or perish Triple H, into NXT shows on WWE pay-per-views, I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it if everything feels like its own brand. It needs to feel like its own brand. NXT is its own brand. Raw needs to be its own brand. Fucking SmackDown needs to be its own brand. The only difference, major fucking difference with this is Raw and SmackDown are WWE. NXT is WWE, but it's not the WWE NXT champion. It's the NXT champion. SmackDown has the WWE heavyweight champion. Raw has the WWE Universal champion. There's where the correlation is a little bit too one-branded. But at the same time, if you can make each show feel like its own thing, I'm all right with it. I think it's finally gonna happen because a lot of people are, oh, Vince wants this to be this way. Yeah, but Vince listens to money way more than he does his ego. And Vince's money is being given to him by Fox and USA. And they're going to want their own type of things with those two shows. So hopefully you finally see a real separation. Now, the next big thing with this NXT to USA news is it's happening 2 weeks before the AEW product. And let's be very honest. Percentage-wise, let me just off the top of your head, Smitty and Nick. Smitty, I'll start with you. Percentage of people that watch NXT that watch AEW already. I'm sorry, flip that. Percentage of wrestling fans that watch AEW that you think are subscribed to the WWE Network to watch NXT. Is it every person that watches AEW? 80%, 70%? What percentage of people that watch AEW are watching NXT on the WWE Network?
I was like 75.
75%. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd be right around there. 70,
I
75.
think it's about 90%.
Yeah.
Because I think NXT is what everyone wants. Because anyone who watches AEW, it's the same type of thing. It's a little bit rougher, obviously, much more middle fingers and things like that. But it's a pure wrestling product, and that's what a lot of the fans that have a problem with regular Raw and SmackDown have loved about NXT and why they're so worried right now. I'd say it's a little higher than 70, 75%. 90, maybe even that's a little bit too much. Maybe 85. Or at least somehow watch it. YouTube clips, something like that.
Actually hold on to the network just for NXT. That's how I want that whole 75% because a lot of people will go to somebody else's place to watch NXT. They're not just having.
So the smartest thing Vince, WWE, we'll just say WWE, because while Vince runs the company, this is Triple H's baby right here. The smartest fucking thing in the world they could have done is start it before AEW comes on. AEW's locked into their time.
Yeah,
they're locked into their date. October 2nd, AEW. We've advertised it. We're here. Obviously, WWE's been working this fucking thing for a while. to get it September 18th. September 18th, WWE takes NXT live on USA Network at 8 p.m. 2 weeks of shows before AEW has its first tasting of live weekly television. And let's be very honest, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think AEW's television show, live weekly television show, is going to sputter at first. Not the product. I think the product's going to be great. But I think it's going, and we've all said it, we have worries about AEW from pay-per-views we've seen. Them going into a live weekly show that none of them, none of, outside of JR and Billy Gunn, I say Billy Gunn more than Cody. Cody was a performer in it, and he's seen things, but he did. I don't know how much he was involved, even when Dusty was doing WCW. I don't know. Granted, he has a history of seeing it, but I think outside of that.
But think about the production. Everything happened with All In. He him and the Bucks were in the back for most of that show,
right? And then even Tony Khan being able to run Double or Nothing, and things like that. I'm not saying they don't have any experience. I'm saying it's way different seeing it than doing it. Nick, you've seen people run this show, and then you did it the first week. How did you feel about it? The first week you ran the show, breaking down the ring.
And a few hiccups.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but were you nervous? Holy, I want to make sure this goes off.
A little bit, but that went away after about 2 minutes.
Okay. And then the second time you ran the show, you feel a little bit more comfortable?
A little bit more comfortable.
Third time you ran the show, much more comfortable?
Yeah.
Would you say that are you able to just take the helm of this show if needed at a moment's notice and feel comfortable?
100%.
Okay. So that's after doing it 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. You go back and you see the things that you did wrong, and
right,
you improve.
Now, NXT has put out a show. WWE has put out live shows. But NXT has been putting out a fucking weekly show for years.
Yeah.
Now they're going live. The only difference is they're going live with it. Live with a crew that has had years of experience of live shows behind them.
Yeah, they said they're using a veteran crew.
So, WWE is probably presenting NXT extremely polished. AEW's coming in a little rough. WWE has you hooked 2 weeks before. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching an extremely polished product, and then you go to AEW, which I'm not saying it's going to be, but let's say the first show has hiccups because it's the first time they're doing something like this. Which one are you more likely to go back to and watch live versus which one you're going to watch in the DVR? Nick.
NXT.
NXT is that's what I'm.
So there you go. That is fucking genius on WWE's part. We're giving you a polished product. I'm not, and again, you're gonna go.
You would say it's not counter programming still?
It's counter programming for sure, because you're trying to get the live audience. You're trying to pull them away from that. Most people, when they watch a DVR, Nick, how invested are you in DVR television shows that you're watching? Or even if you're binging something that you haven't seen before?
I mean, I am, but
you can go back and rewind it.
I can go back and rewind it, but I can also fast forward it. So
if something is seeming off, I'd say you're about any person who's watching something, especially a sports program or something like that, you're about 80% invested, man, with the DVR product of it. Me personally, I think so. Even if I'm binging a show, dude, it takes a lot for something to get me sucked in completely.
Yeah.
But when you're watching a live show, it's different. Even Raw and SmackDown, when I'm watching them live, there are things that pull me in. There's other times where, I can kind of pull away. But I can honestly say I don't think I've ever done that for NXT, watching a taped show.
No. You were always interested. Like, they kept you interested even when it was taped.
And if you're telling me you're basically giving me the same fucking thing for 2 hours, and the only difference is the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a huge step on AEW's toe. You know, as in to think of someone, think of someone just slamming on your toe. Right there, you're out of it for a minute, right? How long, if AEW has, let's say, minute hiccups, we're not even talking, let's not even say major hiccups, because I'm not even fucking wishing that on them. I want them to come out with a polished, gorgeous rock. The cynic in me, as of seeing anything, any pilot of any television show you have ever watched, the first pilot, the first fucking thing has always been, oh, this is pretty good, and that will get you in. But when you watch season 8, or you watch season 5 versus what you saw when it first came out, oh my God, the difference, because you learn, you move on. WWE has been fucking doing that with NXT. So AEW comes on, and let's say you go, okay, I'll DVR because I'm going to DVR NXT the first week because it's AEW's first show.
Sure.
Most likely, everyone's going to watch that show live first. Now, I will. I'll be very honest. But you see the production hiccups, little ones, and you're like, do you switch? What's the percentage of chance? Let's say you hit your third production hiccup. Nothing major. All of these are minute. Little fucking things like, why didn't I see that move on that camera? Why do they have that camera on instead of the other one? Oh, here's the replay to where I can see it finally.
Yeah.
Some minute stuff. Little things that, you know, that take you out of it. Percentage of chance you're switching back over to NXT, Smitty.
50% chance.
Let's say an hour in, a couple 50% chance.
Yeah, because I'm still gonna be curious about how NXT is going.
So, but you're DVRing both. You're not just gonna go live NXT and then catch the rest of AEW on DVR.
I don't have a DVR, so I'm old school. And I gotta go. I'll probably end up watching all of AEW because I can go back to the network or Hulu and watch NXT.
Okay, Nick, hour in, seen a couple production hiccups. It's kind of taking you out, not really. Percentage though that you would switch to NXT and watch the rest of AEW on DVR.
5%.
Really nice.
Because I'll go and switch over to NXT on the commercial, and then wait for the commercial to end and flip back.
So if you switch over to NXT on a commercial though, and then you get real invested, in it, are you switching back?
Yeah, because I'm DVRing it.
All right.
Yep. I'll be like,
I'll be. I'm very honest. Both shows are gonna be on fucking DVR for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally just switched cable companies again. Yeah. Well, no, but I'm gonna have both of those DVR'd.
Absolutely.
I'm old school. I'm probably gonna do like I did with the Monday Night Wars.
VHS, baby.
I honestly, I'm more with Smitty than Nick. 5%. If I see hiccups and I know I'm DVRing both, I'm going to shoot over to the product I know that I'm going to be fully invested in from start to finish. And even not seeing the beginning of the show, to be very fucking honest, I might, that 50% thing, I might switch, just go to the beginning of NXT and watch that whole fucking show and fast forward commercials, you know? But it's going to take a lot, man. It's going to take a lot to get me to finally hit that. All right, I'm turning this. There's going to be few minute, an hour in, I'll probably still be there. I can't say that if a fucking referee does a disqualification, I'm turning off the fucking television. I just don't, I'm sorry. Into this fucking day, All Out would be the only thing that could possibly change me on this. To this fucking day, if I see a fucking disqualification in an AEW ring after All Out, I'm just gonna be like, fuck you guys. Like you don't take yourself seriously. All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So with the population of WWE fans and potential AEW fans that are new AEW fans, and now you have NXT, is this oversaturation for wrestling for a lot of people? Is this too much?
I'm gonna say no. Here's why. Do you have an oversaturation of dinners? Think about it. You eat dinner
chicken,
every night, right?
Yeah, chicken, you got beef.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what Smitty's, burying my lead and just taking what my response. for the most part, we all have a variation of dinners throughout the week. I'm not going to say every dinner is different because I've had pizza 3 or 4 times a fucking week because pizza's fucking delicious. But at the same time, might have a big chicken one night, might have some fried chicken if you're Smitty, maybe even some grape drink because that's what the black kid always looked at in the Sunny D commercials.
I want the purple stuff.
And me too.
You want the purple stuff?
I can't say it's an oversaturation when it's given to me differently. It's an oversaturation of WWE stuff right now because it's all the same fucking thing. You're not seeing anything different on Monday and Tuesday nights. The reason you got pissed off at Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans and Shane McMahon is because they were there so often on those nights. Like right now, how many people are truly bitching about Shane McMahon?
I am.
I know one.
Truly? You're still still really pissed off about Shane McMahon. Are you pissed off about Shane McMahon as much as you are this week as you were a month and a half ago?
I think I'm more over it than pissed off, if anything.
Or it's just he's not there as much. Sure, he's there. But he's not every fucking segment of Raw and SmackDown. Matter of fact, he hasn't touched Raw.
He hasn't touched Raw.
And you see him 3 times on SmackDown in non-wrestling. So he was backstage this week twice.
Backstage, and he was a
and
special
he was on the fucking side of the match. Right?
He announced himself as the special guest referee.
Right, but again, you Shane McMahon wasn't fucking involved in every fucking aspect of SmackDown and Raw like he was a month and a half ago. You pulled people away. And when people aren't seeing what pisses them off that much, it starts to become a non-factor as much. Still, there's going to...
I said that. I agree with that because you weren't here last week. I actually complimented Roman Reigns.
Weird. But that's what it is. If you stop fucking shoving things down people's throats, they can't be oversaturated and hating it. Right? So if Raw has its own feel, NXT has its own feel, AEW has its own feel, and SmackDown has its own feel, I can't say it's an oversaturation of wrestling.
I completely agree because I feel like it's all going to be something every night. You're going to get something different. Even Wednesdays with 2 different shows, there are going to be 2 different products, 2 different production styles.
I was going to say, the whole inclusion of AEW, it gives you an alternative to, which is the biggest thing about AEW.
It's like me watching 3 college football games on Saturday and watching 3 pro football games on Sunday. It's the same sport, but it's 2 totally they're different. You know?
Yeah, it's football.
Yep.
But 2 different complete things. So I can't say it's an oversaturation of it. So okay, we've kind of talked a little bit about it, the whole AEW thing. Smitty, how long does AEW have for their weekly show to get shit together to truly be competition to NXT? Now WWE, we can't even say WWE anymore because the head-to-head show is NXT. Shut up, Jesse. He says, except not watching the Lions because the Lions suck.
I would say fuck you, Jesse, just because I'm from Detroit.
Right. Let's watch your fucking Las Vegas Raiders do something.
Oh yeah, they got Antonio Brown who doesn't want to practice with a damn helmet.
You know, whatever. So how long does AEW have to put out a polished product before they start losing people
6 to 8 months.
continuously to NXT? 16 months?
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months.
Maybe a year because, once again, they like you said, they're going in fresh, no armor. They're going in pretty much, not many people are used to being on television and all this good stuff. So I'm just like, say, you're going to have to work out the kinks first and then polish from there. And say that's going to take either 6 to 8 months and now maybe a year before you even are off equal foot on NXT.
No. The question I'm not to when you're equal with NXT. How long do you have before you start losing people watching your show live to the NXT brand?
To the NXT brand? Oh, I'd say that 4 to 6 months, maybe.
Even less? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I
people, but then once they get the kinks, they'll get those people back and maybe even some fresh new faces.
I think they need to have something solid within 2 months. Here's why I say 2 months. So they started in October, right? That gives you October. That gives you November. Maybe even 2.5 months. After 2.5 months, you're going into the end of December, right? And at the end of December, you're moving past WWE's 2019 pay-per-view calendar into their next big show, Royal Rumble, which for a lot of people is the number 2 pay-per-view for WWE. Some even think it's the number 1 pay-per-view because there are times where people are just like, WrestleMania is too long, blah, blah, blah. I think if AEW is not giving you a strong product and NXT is obviously involved with their takeover coming up at Royal Rumble, you're losing your viewers to NXT. That's why I say 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. Nick, for you, not until they get everything, their kinks worked out. How long until they start losing viewers to NXT if they don't present a semi-polished product?
I would agree with 2 or 3 months, for sure. We had talked something similar. We talked about something similar like this a little while back, where it was, how long do you give AEW before you not necessarily give up on the product, but maybe feel like they're going to lose you as a fan? And a lot of us were like 1.5 years, 2 years. But now with that curveball NXT, yeah, I mean, significantly less.
The pressure's on.
The pressure is
AEW.
definitely on. It's got to be.
And pressure can either break you or make you a diamond.
Yep, and if you think there's no pressure, then...
Oh. So the young... I couldn't remember. I don't remember which Young Buck tweeted it. But there was the announcement that came out, and they quoted it, and we ain't scared.
That's probably Nick Jackson.
I saw a game on.
Chris Jericho wished them congratulations. Again, look, Chris Jericho is AEW, but he and Vince McMahon are still friends. This relationship possibly soured a little bit, but then again, it's just like, let's say you broke up with a girl fucking 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you found out one of your friends was dating her. I mean, friendship, the friendship you broke up because, and let's say you broke up with her, she was cheating or something. Even if it's something that you're just completely didn't want anything to do with, there's still a little sourness to your friendship. This is something similar to that. He went with Cody and the Bucks. Vince wanted Cody and the Bucks. He wanted all of it. He wanted the entire elite. They wanted Hangman to run NXT while the rest of them were main roster. Now he's not getting it. And Jericho, his friend of 20 years, went right there to AEW because he thought it was best for his career. And with good reasons. Right, yeah, with great reasons. We're not even arguing that. But it does not change the fact that Jericho still has feelings for the WWE product. He doesn't want it to fail, but he wants AEW to succeed as well. I want both to succeed.
Yes.
Yeah, I want everything to succeed.
In a perfect world, yeah. Both do awesome.
And say, once again, I know there's a little bit. I like where Impact is going, and I would like to see them do more as well.
That's another thing, yeah, because Impact's putting on a good show. If I'll be very honest, if you think Impact sucks, you haven't watched Impact in 2019.
I've been saying this for almost 2 years. The Impact is becoming a better product.
I would say this year.
No, I started.
I know when you started watching it, but in my opinion, the things that I have seen, Impact last year, it was still floundering. There's a reason it lost its network from what it was to had to go to Pursuit and Twitch, but them going now, I think Impact's doing really well. I think, yeah, we're not going to go into a sidecast about this, but yes, I think if you think Impact sucks, you haven't watched an Impact pay-per-view in 2019, period. And it's the same. I don't think any wrestling sucks. Even WWE, I think there's a lot of oversaturation right now, but there's still great things. Even let's even Raw and SmackDown this week, dude. Fucking Buddy Murphy and Daniel Bryan.
Buddy,
match.
You cannot do it. You have to. Like, I really want Buddy Murphy to go far in King of the Ring.
I would love that. But again, and then Raw. Raw had great moments as well. A Becky promo that we have wanted for fucking months. You know, then rebutted with a fucking Sasha promo. Look, WWE, while it does have oversaturation of dumb shit, has some amazing moments.
Like Jerry Lawler's fucking.
That was great. That was a wonderful fucking thing, you know? And I agree with Jesse right where Jesse goes. As a true fan of wrestling, you shouldn't hope one product would fail. You should hope everything succeeds and pushing everyone to produce better and a better and better product. And I fully agree with that. When WCW went under because of network executives, not because of Bischoff, not because of Turner, not because of the product.
AOL.
Network executives going, we don't want this, so we're pulling money away from you, so you can't do as well as you were doing. And then when Bischoff tried to buy, they're like, yeah, but we're not giving you the TV time. So it's like, okay, well, you're fucking it. You basically threw a spoke into the wheel and said, ride your bike. Now, you can't remove this. You can't remove this stick into your spoke from your spokes, but I want you to ride. You can't even fucking go. Your back tire's moving, but your fucking front tire is just. You fucked it. I agree. I want everything to fucking succeed.
Ring of Honor, Japan, all of you.
That being said, we really need AEW to come out of the gate strong with their Wednesday night show. Have they even announced a fucking title for it yet?
I mean, that's the women's Dynamite.
There was that Tuesday night Dynamite.
They don't have to have a number. Just call it AEW on TNT right now.
Okay, so probably at All Out is you're going to get your name for the AEW's weekly
I thought
show.
they trademarked or copywrote that.
Tuesday night Dynamite is what they trademarked, but obviously they couldn't get Tuesday because of TNT's deal with the NBA. Now,
Are you ready?
are you ready? Sorry, going right back into corn.
Yep.
Let's talk about a little bit of this week in WWE, right? We got 15, 20 fucking minutes left. Let's go into it. Smitty, Raw happened. What stood out with you on Raw? What was your highlights of Raw?
The fact that they're still giving Bray a rub right now. The whole thing with Jerry Lawler was pretty sweet. Like you said, the Becky promo was good. The Sasha stuff. Outside of that, we had a couple of good matches on there too. So it was like I thought it was all right Raw.
Nothing spectacular. Nothing you're like, man, it was one of the better Raws I've seen.
Yeah.
In a while. All right. I mean, I can't argue it. I fully can't argue that. Nick, what on Raw stood out to you?
A lot of the same. The Sasha promo, her with Natty, the Becky Lynch. I was actually pretty surprised to see Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins win the titles. I'm not going to lie.
Good surprise or bad surprise?
Good. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yep.
Smitty, you're shaking your head.
It keeps it interesting. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, we all think Braun is going to end up facing Seth at some point. That was the idea, which can still happen, but that's a curveball. You know what I mean?
It's the only good thing is that with the tag titles on those guys, they're going to get featured. For some reason, they're not getting featured on actual tag teams.
I do hope that when they lose those titles, it goes back to Gallows and Anderson.
All right. What stood out to me? RKO and Big E.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Dude, the RKO is one of the greatest moves in professional wrestling history. Diamond Dallas Page did great with the Diamond Cutter. Fucking Randy Orton transformed that fucking cutter, the Diamond Cutter, into his own purest move because it literally does come out of nowhere sometimes. And when that move truly comes out of nowhere, it's the best fucking thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
The
every
one
time.
where
Lesnar.
Yeah, Lesnar. The fucking one on Big E. The amazing one on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Oh,
The
catapult off his back.
Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen. You can't. That move is devastating. But when it's out of nowhere, it's you just say, oh, shit.
Like, where the fuck did he come from?
Yep.
Big E running for that fucking spear, and then all of a sudden, boom, Boom! RKO.
The
And
one
it-
Xavier took was pretty nasty too. That fucking 3D,
yep.
3D RKO.
Oh, jeez. Yes, it was as Bubba called it, a super 3D. Which is, yeah, two guys hold him, yep, and then into the cutter. I fucking loved it, dude. I really loved it.
I love seeing videos online of people falling
And Kobe's back,
and all of a sudden somebody cuts in Randy Orton doing an RKO to him and they fall.
or they fall backwards and they
Yep.
cut Shawn Michaels with the super kick.
Yeah.
Or when they go, oh, and it's the stunner. Yeah, those are great.
Also, Kobe's retaliation on SmackDown was pretty good too.
So while we're talking about Raw right now, sir, trying to go forward. You got the two King of the Ring matches. Samoa Joe defeated Cesaro, and Cedric Alexander defeated Sami Zayn, advancing into the King of the Ring bracket. Is this, you want these two guys, or rather than having Sami Zayn or Cesaro advance, you think it's better with Joe and Cedric Alexander, Smitty?
Yeah, because those are two guys that I think a lot of people want to see featured, especially Cedric over the last couple of weeks with his thing with McIntyre. And we all say that Joe deserves a lot better than he's been getting in WWE. So these two guys, I'm glad to see advance.
What about you, Nick?
I completely agree. And these are the two guys I picked to win. And I thought the Joe and Cesaro match was one of the better matches on Raw.
Oh, for sure.
Like I said,
And
Raw has some good matches.
Yeah, and Cedric, he's exciting to watch, and yeah, it's good shit. Good shit.
That's good shit.
You eat shit?
Yeah, I do. It's delicious.
Pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
So we talked about the greatness of Sasha's promo, the greatness of Becky's promo. Let's talk about Dominic's promo.
Oh, with the unmasked, that was rough.
Nick, we're going to kick off with you. So Ray's basically saying he's going to retire, all the injuries, blah, blah, blah. And then Dominic comes up and says, but Dad,
puppy,
Drew wrestled with
your great uncle.
With Uncle Ray, who have you? I want to tell your grandkids that I wrestled with their like what, dude? Like,
yeah, it was rough.
Nick, you watched this, you listened to it, you saw it. We're grossed out.
It was awkward. It really was, and touching moments with your dad or your mom. That's all fine and well, but it seemed...
As long as it's not molestation.
Sure, let's be perfectly clear
Those are
about
the bad touching moments.
But it felt awkward. It felt forced. Man, I'm just walking into all these puns.
Like molestation.
No means no, Nick.
It really felt forced.
No means no.
When he put his hand around his neck.
Because he's like 4 feet taller than Ray.
Because he's Eddie's kid.
Oh, yeah. Dominic Guerrero.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So yeah, I don't know. I just I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Just be honest.
That's what the
Smitty,
kid said.
what? Smitty, what?
It was
What, okay, did you think Ray was actually going to retire?
No, I didn't. I didn't believe it. Wasn't kind of believable because we all speculated that all the stuff that Ray's been doing is somehow to get his son, do something with his son eventually down the line. And this is just, it was like I said, the promo was awkward and rough to kind of listen to.
The Ray part wasn't so awkward. It was when Dominic came on when I really felt uncomfortable and thought that we might be getting into the
When he
TVMA
started taking the mask off, like, oh, this is where it's happening. This is where the Dominic angle comes in.
Yeah. Is it something that you want to see? You want to see this mask pass to Dominic?
I think that'd be a cool thing because that's like a lucha libre tradition in general. When one guy leaves, like, takes off the mask for retirement, he gives it on to usually a son or somebody like that.
Okay.
Which is, I think that'd be a cool moment. And
Is it tainted because Ray at one point wasn't wearing the mask?
Oh, the WCW run with Kevin Nash.
No, as a matter of his last few years in WCW. Like, there was a lot of talk when Ray came from WCW to WWE. Was he going to have the mask or not have the mask? There was a couple years in WCW he didn't have the mask.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nash beat him while he went for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he had a demask.
Yeah. So there were years that you could totally see his face.
Yeah.
He wrestled maskless. Is it
looks like
tainted?
like a
Is it
16
tainted
lesbian.
because of that? Because obviously he hasn't wrestled in the mask on mainstream for part of his career. Obviously, the main, 2001, 2002 when he came in WWE, his mask went back on, and it's now 17 years later.
I think to the traditional Lucha Libre thing, yeah, maybe a little tainted, but Mysterio himself has become such an icon, and his mask is so iconic. You still have some honor in it.
All right, Nick, obviously you didn't even know or don't even remember him being without it. Is this something that you want to see though, like the tradition of passing it on and on WWE television?
Yeah, I think that would be a cool moment, and like Smitty said, that's part of the whole lucha tradition is to do something like that, and I don't think it's as tainted, not for me. Yep.
I wouldn't have thought about it until you said taint when I was saying it.
Yeah, I think that's something cool they could do, I've seen him without his mask. You can do is Google it. But
Ray looked like a 16-year-old lesbian chick without that mask back then.
Let's move on to SmackDown, and we will kick off with what you said. Randy Orton comes out cutting a promo, going back to calling Kofi Kingston stupid in a great fucking promo. And then Kofi comes out to get retribution. Smitty, you're watching this. You're loving Kofi Kingston. I'll be very honest. Until the stuff before SummerSlam, and I even put a tweet out about this. Before SummerSlam, I'm still over Kofi as champion. I want that fucking belt on Randy right now. But because of this. However, I want the belt off of Kofi to get something for Kofi to do that makes me feel like he's chasing something for it again, and I want him to get it back. But this is the first story, the first time post SummerSlam that I've been truly invested in a Kofi story. Truly invested. Because did I think Joe could have taken it off of him? Yes. Did I want Joe to? Did I think Joe was going to take it off of him? No. I don't think none of us even picked Joe to win that match. But now with this accentuation post SummerSlam, so we're just talking 4 shows, 2 weeks. I'm beyond fucking invested in this. RKO and the Revival, Randy and the Revival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
The way Kofi would retaliated on SmackDown. Oh shit! Finally, I'm sinking my teeth into this story. Smitty, what were you thinking? What was going on?
I was thinking like, hey, Kofi actually was like a badass, like smart babyface champion at this point. I get that we all know Kofi can be goofy and have fun, and he's having fun. And it's the first time I've taken him serious as being serious. Like in a long time, I've taken him serious as being serious since his feud with Orton started. And then he just looked like a smart champion, like a smart champion that actually knew, like sneaking in behind Orton, hitting him with the Trouble in Paradise, grabbing a chair and laying it to the Revival. It was just smart. And it made
How long until the Trouble in Paradise is just referred as the TIP, and then New Day start walking around saying they're just going to give people the tip?
give the tip. Oh, I hope it's sooner than later.
And the funny thing, we can see the New Day doing that gag.
T-I-P.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
And
Just
and here comes the hip, like it's gonna be the pelvic thrust at that point.
Just the tip.
Ow, it actually hurt.
All right. Anyway, back to you. So you're invested. Are you back in as Kofi Kingston? Fuck yeah, champion, or do you want him to drop the belt now? Still,
It's like, I think he's had a good run with the belt at this point now. Like I said, when WrestleMania came around, I'm worried about how they're going to treat this run, and they treated it with a lot of respect. And he's been booked as probably the strongest champion in the company right now. And hey, if it's time for him to end the reign right now, it's time for him to end the reign right now. He's had a good run.
Nick, do you still want Kofi to drop the belt, or did this make you want to see Kofi beat Randy Orton more?
No, I still want him to drop the belt, but I am invested in it more than I was before SummerSlam. Now it's like unfinished business. You know, Kofi's not that he was taking his shit before, but he seems more focused and pissed and trying to get retribution for his brothers in the New Day and for his family. I didn't see a whole lot of that, just the whole 11-year thing between him and Randy before SummerSlam. Now, post-SummerSlam, you're getting more personal, I guess. So, yeah, I still want him to lose, but I'm invested.
Listen, don't care if he wins or lose.
Yeah.
If he wins the dream,
at the current moment, still want Kofi to drop that belt. That's the current moment. It could completely change next week. Here's why. Because Randy is being built at the moment as someone you want to see Kofi beat. How did the match end at SummerSlam? I can't remember.
Double count out.
Double count out. So technically he still didn't beat Randy Orton, right?
And that's what the promo started with. You
so
never beat me, stupid.
There's very strong remnants that Kofi still has, because he still hasn't beaten Randy Orton. But I still, at this moment, just want him to drop that belt. But Randy right now is being built in a way of what I said heels need to be built. Not as go away heels, as I want to see the champion beat you. And if Randy and the Revival keep this going, obviously the Revival's facing New Day at Clash of Champions for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So very likely you're going to see Kofi versus Randy Orton for the WWE title in some sort of, last man standing. Can't, either way, something that a double count out can't be affected by.
Something like a no DQ match.
That being said, it is very possible within the next week or two that Randy could be at the point where I want to see Kofi beat him. And that changes the game. That does. And then I'll probably want Kofi to hold on to that belt because until after Hell in a Cell, till possibly Royal Rumble. But they need to keep going with heels that don't make it boring. And currently, this is the most exciting storyline Kofi Kingston has had as WWE champion.
For sure.
Agreed.
And it started out it started off slow with the SummerSlam thing, and it seemed like
these last 2 weeks have just fucking boom, baby. And who knows? Maybe that's Eric Bischoff.
Hey, look, honestly, Orton is Kofi's white whale. Really, he's been that's his mother white whale.
I got to bring a race to it
because I'm not gonna say the name of the white whale because I don't need that. I don't need the puns made toward me.
Moby Dick? How can we make a pun towards you for Moby Dick? I really don't know how I would do that.
You would. You'll find a way.
Find a way.
I'm literally trying to think of it while saying it, and I can't think of anything.
Smitty Ahab.
Oh, the fucking whatever.
I don't know. I'm just pulling shit out of my asshole.
I'll be very honest.
Moby Dick,
You know what pissed me off the most about SmackDown? 24/7 situation.
I think they're trying to get some of the the 24/7 championship is probably one of the most over things on all WWE television. I think they're trying to finally cool it down.
No, I don't think that at all. I think it was a good pissed off. Like, how we're like, oh, is Kofi pissing you off as champion, good or bad? I think it's a good pissed off because you're like, what the fuck? I feel gypped. So you want to see it more. But that's a good thing. I don't think that's cooling anything off. I think that's keeping the heat on it. Because we've said it, we've been saying it all fucking night. There's an oversaturation. And if we constantly see that 24/7 title being thrown around like that, we're eventually going to get tired of it.
Yeah.
Taking that night off, it pissed me off, but because I wanted to see it. So now I want to see something on Monday. Now I want to see something next Tuesday.
Truth's face was gold though.
So in a good pissed off, bad pissed off is how it seems everyone felt once SmackDown ended. And
a cliffhanger.
It took the hood off, dude. And Rowan was staring at his dad. Nick, what were your thoughts the minute you fucking saw that?
What the fuck is that?
Smitty, what was your thought the minute you saw that?
What the fuck? It's purely like, I was like, okay, if this is supposed to be your tag, why the fuck didn't Roman do anything right then and there? All 4 of you assholes were in the room.
Right, I agree.
I talked about how they made Kofi look like a smart baby face and a tough baby face, and this is what you want Roman to look like too, right?
No, not what they're showing.
But I'm like, but this is what WWE
Right.
wants out of Roman. You just insulted my intelligence. Like, okay, you're supposed to be this big badass. Like, when I found him tried to kill me, I'm beating the hell out of him. Okay, what? Like you beat up Buddy, like you tossed Buddy Murphy around. He didn't do shit.
You can't attack gingers, dude. They're a dying breed.
Yeah,
Endangered.
Yeah.
whatever.
Just kidding.
Oh, Buddy Murphy's a ginger. You tossed him around. Did we talk about that Buddy Murphy, Daniel Bryan? By the way, because that kind of ties into this too.
I could not believe that's the way they went with it. Now, again, there's also the trust the process situation where this could be a red herring. No pun intended.
Sure.
To where it was Daniel Bryan and Rowan that did it, and they just found some dude that looks like Rowan to play into this, whatever. But I'll be very honest, they had me with this whodunit until this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
said something
ending?
I said last week.
Yeah.
I said this is one of the better angles that they've had in the company, and now I'm like,
I was like,
as soon as I compliment the angle, you go do something.
Yeah, could you stop complimenting things?
No,
Okay, cool.
I
Thanks.
complimented Roman for the first one.
But of course, this followed a earlier match between, like Smitty said, Daniel Bryan and Buddy Murphy. Nick, you're watching Daniel Bryan. You're watching Buddy Murphy go at it. This is the second week in a row that Buddy Murphy has been out fucking standing in that ring. How are you feeling about? Are you hoping that because now he's in the King of the Ring too, and next week he has
Ali.
his King of the Ring match against Ali. Ali, another fan favorite. Did Ali just fall into it again, dude? Did Ali just fall into a situation where he should be getting something, but he just got put against or replaced by somebody who just got hot out of nowhere?
Yep.
Yep. He just got replaced by somebody that got hot, and you didn't get that impression when Buddy Murphy came out on SmackDown last night because the crowd for him was dead while he came out. During the match, the crowd got more into him. He got more, good heat on him. And at the end, when he won clean, that crowd popped good for him. So they're going to keep running with him.
And I like this whole tweener thing they got for him too. Where
Yeah.
he's not exactly a heel, not exactly a face.
I think he was more tweener against Roman Reigns than he was against Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
And I think the match with Roman Reigns, as good as that was, propelled him into face status. And that's why I kind of feel like Ali just got
Boned again.
anything that Ali could have done in this King of the Ring just went to hell because of what Buddy Murphy has been involved in the last couple weeks. And let's be honest, the only reason Buddy Murphy got involved in this is because some fan on fucking social media was like, that looks like Buddy Murphy right there in that photo. So WWE's like, well, we kind of got to involve him now.
Yeah.
And there he is. And now he's putting on match of the year contender matches with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, who, again, that spear.
The way he
last week,
sold it.
It was they both flipped.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy is doing things that you haven't seen with these people that you have seen. And it's making the other people look as good as he is. Like, that's the whole point of wrestling. You want to make your partner look great. Smitty, final thing before we sign off on this for our show is who do you believe is going to win this King of the Ring tournament?
I'm going to agree with Booker T of what he said with Drew McIntyre.
Okay. Nick, where you at with that?
I would have to say Drew. I was trying and hoping that Kevin Owens would win it, but obviously that shit's out the window.
What? Why? Why?
But yeah, I would say Drew.
All right. Jesse goes, why is WWE running with Gingers, Buddy Murphy and Becky Lynch? One per show, bro. One per show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually it for us. We're going to get out of here. Next week, we'll be doing a show, but again, it's going to be a shortened version of the show, possibly making our AEW all-out picks with our pro wrestling scorecards. Either way, we are going to be gearing up to take off after tomorrow, next week's show, the morning after, and we're going to be heading to Chicago for StarCast 3, baby. Come to the Collector's Corner and see ya boys, BDR, breaking down the ring. The Ring Crew will be at StarCast in the Collector's Corner as a vendor. Come and get some of these stickers. Come and get some of these cards. Check out the brand new Ring Crew Championship. Take pictures with it. Sit down with us. Have a conversation about All Out.
Sit on Smitty's face.
Yeah, sit on Smitty's face. You know,
Smitty's
give him your Moby Dick, whatever.
I told you, find a way.
There it is.
Sorry, it's not my fault. It came up.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, come and see us at StarCast. We're going to be on All Out as well. We're going to be at StarCast all 3 days. If you want to come the days before, we talk about what's going to happen at All Out, and you're still there on Sunday, and you want to sit down and have a conversation about what happened at All Out, how you feel AEW is going to be doing going into the Wednesday Night Wars with NXT. We want to talk about all of that with you, so come and see us at the Collector's Corner in StarCast. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at BDRcast, Breaking Down the Ring on YouTube. And, of course, if you go to breakingdownthering.com, you can find all of our social media there, as well as our hosts. You can see them and have a blast with us, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Appreciate anyone who watched. We are your Ring Crew.
Harry Tipper Smitty.
The whole effing Z-Nick.
And me, the almighty one himself, Mikey. We are out.